Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I am going to talk to you guys about how to identify possible traction alopecia. I know you're probably saying, girl, what have you come up with now? How can you identify that? What are the signs of recognizing potential traction alopecia? But first, let's talk about what traction alopecia is. Traction alopecia is when you wear a hairstyle that constantly pulls your hair and cause baldness or bald spots. So let's talk about, for example, some hair weave. If you keep wearing hair weave that is too tight around your edges, possibly you may lose your edges and they may become bald. And sometimes the bald spots will never grow back in. So another example is like a very tight ponytail. Some people wear the same ponytail in the same spot over and over and over. For example, like my coworker, she wore a ponytail every day, all day. Every time I see her, she has the same ponytail in the same spot right here. And finally, she told me that her hair is thin and bald in that spot, and she doesn't think her hair will ever grow back in. So the things I'm going to say next is going to sound so crazy, but you guys have probably heard this or have seen this before. First, one way of recognizing that you may have possible traction alopecia is when you get your hair braided really tight around your edges. And when you get through getting your hair braided, your eyebrows are sitting way up here on the top of your head. Like this. And every time I would get my tree braids, I would always look 10 years younger. And I'm like, why do I look so young? Well, the braids had pulled my edges so far back to where I had an eyebrow lift and a forehead lift. So it looked like I was saying, And ain't nobody even saying nothing to me. Didn't nobody ask me nothing. I didn't say nothing to nobody. I was just saying, You guys probably heard that old corny joke before, but when your eyebrows are sitting up real high compared to your original position, yeah, that's a possibility that that hair has been pulled so tightly around your edges that it may not grow back in some cases. Let's give you another example of possible traction alopecia and how to recognize it. Now this is super crazy, but you girls and guys have heard this before. If you get into an altercation or you see another female get into an altercation and you hear her opponent say, keep on talking to me, I'm gonna snatch a patch of talking. And the next thing you know, they're fighting and stuff, and that girl just reach for her head and try to pull every strand of hair out of her head. So my suggestion is not to get into any fights, because you know girls will pull your hair out, and when they pull your hair out, I tell you, they can pull it out from the from the roots of your brain matter, just your brain matter. Some of your brain meat come out with your hair follicles in your hair. So to prevent possible alopecia, traction alopecia, do not get into any fights talking about you're gonna fight somebody, and if you do get into a fight with somebody and they say I'm gonna pull your hair out your head, girl, just run for your life. It's not even worth the fight. It's not even worth losing your hair, because girls will yank your hair out all the way to your bones. And the last and final one, number 3. So you girls know, whenever you get your hair braided and your beautician tell you this, you know you need to just tell your beautician to stop right there, right in mid braid. Just tell her to stop. And we've all heard this. I've heard this a few times and it didn't register that I need to get up and leave. But whenever you get your hair braided, or yeah, we just gonna go with the braids. If you get your hair braided and all of a sudden you take one hand and you go, oh, that's too tight. And then you take your other hand, before you know, you go, oh my God, that's too tight. And when your beautician tells you, oh, it has to be tight so it can last long, girl, it's time to cut it short. And I've heard it so many times, and I've always just had good luck not to get any bald spots around my edges. But that very last time when I got those tree braids, that's exactly what my beautician told me. She said, well, it has to be tight so it can last long. You don't want the extensions to slip out your head. Well, I don't want to lose my hair from around my edges trying to hold on to some fake hair that I'm going to throw away in the next 7 or 8 weeks. So whenever you hear a beautician tell you it has to be tight in order for it to last long, and you sitting up there like this, like you being electrocuted by the head, that's a sign right there saying, hey, that's a possibility that you're going to be bald by the end of those 7 to 8 weeks around your edges, and it could possibly not grow back, which is the term called traction alopecia. Okay guys, so that's it. I'll see you girls and guys in the next video. Bye.